Hey all, double 1/8 Seth Shadow here. So, today we are going to have a dual box opening for the newest set of Shadowverse Evolve, the Duet of Dawn and Dusk, which I've been talking a lot about this set on my market watches for the last several months, particularly because of some pretty big contenders that you can pick up. And I gotta say, before even opening the boxes, this has been the release weekend so far of the set, and I can tell you, between all the Shadowverse sets that we've seen so far on release weekend, this one seems to be the most insane of them all. And I don't know if it's just, I really don't even know why this one in particular. Like, I expected Paragons of the Colosseum to at least be, this to at least be on the same level as Paragons of the Colosseum set 6, but this is way beyond set 6. For crying out loud, there is a card in this set already. It's 2 days in, and it's still sold out as of this morning. I happened to pull one of these yesterday when I went to the, what do you call it? The Open 8 tournament for this set. One of my locals, who also where I bought the boxes from, Second Level Games, if you live around my area, is, well, I played their tournament and won the tournament as well. So winning the Open 8 yields you this monochrome duel in in the foiling variant with like the legendary aspect. But the card that is currently sold out on the market, and I managed to pull one, is this Vania Nightshade Vampire. So if you've been watching my market watches, you know that Vania is one of the big contenders for this format. Vampires in general are going to be one of the biggest decks in this format right now, if not the biggest. The other, I would say, is Dirt Rune. And otherwise, there's still a lot of different stuff that you can pick up. But let's see what we can get in one of these boxes to start. All right. As always, these boxes have 12 packs in them. Ever since set 12, that's when the ratio was changed. And I really like the yellow aspect of the box is very soothing to me. And it feels bright. And then you have the contrast of the twilight aspect. Now let's see what we get inside first. So, the first thing is that you get a pack of sleeves. Either it's going to be Tsukiyomi or it's going to be Amaterasu. The other thing is that you also get a vote slip. Now, I haven't actually seen one of these yet, so let's see what it looks like. Kindly scan the Q. I don't know about you, but whenever I see the word kindly in any sort of thing like this, it irks me a little bit. Anyway, please kindly scan the QR code below or head to the following website to submit your vote. Okay, so there's a code on it, I guess, too. You can also submit your vote on the official website. So I guess for any of you who want to steal my vote, you have the code right here, I suppose. Okay, what else have we got? Entry in the campaign is deemed... what does it say on the back? Nothing on the back. Okay, so basically what this is all about is you are allowed to issue a vote for an alternate art exclusive that we'll get in a future pack. Similar to how we've been getting a number of cards in these packs that Japan would have gotten in a deck set or some other variant, we will be getting them most likely as SP cards. So you can vote on which one that you'd like. If you played the Shadowverse mobile game, you've seen this sort of voting system before where they use that to determine what leaders that you could get in next booster packs. But with that all said, let's go ahead and get started on the packs themselves. Let's see. So they did make one change in terms of how they're doing these packs, which I'll go over in a second as well. Let's see. So we're starting with Death, the Necrophiliate. That's a first bronze. Coda, Twilight Dragon, which summons a dragon token. They made a quick amulet, which can deal 3 damage. It's frontline ramparts. Did I? Oh, wow, we already got a foil. Roy Dragon Cleaver, who's a Draconian. Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing someone play this yesterday and mistakenly assumed that you could use this to get followers. It's search your deck for a 2-cost dragon spell, reveal it, and add it to your hand. So while you can't search followers with it, you can search Dragon Oracle, which is pretty good. Oceanus. And then Queen Chimera. Paradise Vanguard. So evolve, and then if you have at least 5 angels in the cemetery. So basically the neutral angel deck got some more support. And Studinger. What happened? I didn't get a token. Wow, I did not get a token in this pack. That's unusual. That was the thing that I was going to say is different, but let's keep going and see what happens. Next, we got Tycoon. You discard 3 to draw 3 and get 2 play points back. Then Assassin. I haven't really looked at this one. Select an enemy follower on the field. Deal it damage equal to the number of dragon spells in the Oh, okay. That's not bad. Grasshopper Conductor. If there are at least 5 forest spells with different names. Come on, different names. Select an enemy follower on the field and deal it 4 damage. That is a high cost to pull off for that kind of effect. Hexfowl of Ebon. Deal 2 damage to each enemy leader if there's an amulet, and it has Rush. The base form of Studinger, not bad. And we got a super legendary already. It's Romelia Lightning Striker. Okay, what does this do? Select an enemy follower on the field. If there's an amulet on the field, deal it 3 damage. If there's an aftershock, place a lightning counter on it. And then if not, just summon one. It has a Sail and Bane as well. Not bad. We got Syrian Hind. This is definitely one of the cards I need to pick up since I'm building Amulet Haven. And then we got Order of the Bones. But again, no tokens. 2 packs in a row and not a single token. What? What? Oh, right. And now you can immediately figure out when you get one of these double sides as soon as you open the pack like this. Oh, wow. So I got the Evo of Syrian Drankhide, which is a double-sided Evo, and it's a gold as well. I needed that too. Okay. There are a lot of double-sided choice Evos in this set too, which is pretty good. All right. Let's see. Ah, this is a nice one too. Moria Income. It's just a simple draw 1 amulet, and then if it's destroyed, you just destroy a follower with 3 or less. There we go. We finally got a token. Aftershock. This is the card that works with Romelia. You either summon an Aftershock or give it a lightning counter, and the Aftershock token works if it has 5 or 10 lightning counters on it, which can be pretty insane. It either gives power bonuses or it destroys followers while dealing some damage. Okay, 2 breaths is basically execution on legs. Pala, student teacher, and Wrath of Nature. Okay. This is Forestcraft's. I'd say this is the first real AoE board wipe that Forestcraft has gotten. This one just outright deals 3 damage to all followers. And then it can deal 5 damage as well, depending on if you have enough spells. So, Spell Forestcraft is the biggest supported deck in terms of Forestcraft this time around. But there is a bronze in here that's good for puppets. And in general, too. Select an enemy follower, deal it 3 damage. You need 3 Draconian... That is a really hefty condition. What is this? Poltergeist. Quick, bury the top 2 cards of your deck. Okay, so it's just a 1-cost bury 2, which is alright. We also have the academic cards, Bertrand and Magic Mentor. So if you are an Honor Greya fan, there are a lot of support cards here. And there you go. Mysterium Missile. If you played the original Shadowverse, I think you remember how annoying this card can be. It's a little bit different, but effectively the same. Dragoon Scyther. I remember that card. Summoning Drills. Okay, here we go with some of the Dirt Room cards. This summons a guard form golem, and you can discard to put a strike form golem into the EX area. Each golem follower on the field and EX gets +1 attack. And then we got Owen Knight of Mysteria, followed by Dario Demon Count. Alright. So far we have seen the one super legendary. We have not seen any legendaries yet. And we are already on pack 5. Alright, Handspur. Yep, some more vampire stuff. Raven Noontide Vampire, which is the healing vampire. Valkyrie of Chaos. This is such a generic, though. And on top of that, it's a fallen angel, so it works with the angel deck. We got a fairy token, opposing statues. What does this one do? Search for Holy Fowl of Ivory. Search for Holy Fowl of or Hex Fowl of Ebon. Oh, interesting. So on play, you can get the Holy Fowl, and on destruction by burying another amulet, you can search for Hex Fowl. That's interesting. All right, we got our first legendary. It's White Vanaria. So this one has a few things. You can evolve it for 1. When another follower is put onto the field, it gets 1/1. And if the follower is a beast follower, it gets 2/2 instead. Not bad. Gift for Bloodkin. This is also a pretty good one. So if you have at least 5 vampires in the cemetery, it's free. Summon 2 forest bats, and if there's a follower with Vania in the cemetery, you just draw. Also pretty good. And then we got Lycon's Evo. Discard an amulet, select an enemy follower on the field, deal it 5 damage, and draw. Alright. Let's see. Next up, Master Samurai. Tico, which is basically you hope to pull an amulet card. This is the card I was talking about, Substitution. So this is a quick for Forest Craft. It's a 2 cost. You select an enemy follower that costs 3 or less, put it back in the owner's hand, and put a puppet in your EX area. So, pretty solid. It doesn't destroy the follower or banish it or anything, it just puts it back to your opponent's hand. But that's still good disruption. Lycon, the card I just got the Evo for. You can discard an amulet for this to deal 5 damage and draw a card. Then we got Owlman. Select another beast follower on the field and give it plus. Okay, so that's obviously for Veneria. You got Big Soul Hunter. It just Evos. Lindworm. This is one of the choice Evo cards. Evolve this follower into Virtuous Lindworm or Inquisitus Lindworm. And recover play points equal to the number of dragon Wow, that could be insane. And then we got Axe Princess's Evo. Deal something 4 damage. Well, overall, there are some pretty solid cards to pick up in this set. Order of the Bones is also just a general Evo, which I believe the Evo form just buries cards or searches or pulls something from the drop for you. Look at the top card of the deck, bury it. Axe Princess, Hypersonic Dragon Newt. Alright, and then we got the 2 queens, black and white. So we got Magnus the Black. When this card's on the field, each Chimera the white has a sail. And you can rest this to select 2 sword followers on the field and give them +1 attack, which is pretty solid. Katakura Kojiro, this is another duelist card. You select another duelist on the field. If you have overflow, it gets +1/+1, and this card can Evo. Tenko's Shrine. So whenever your leader gains defense, rest this to select a leader or follower and deal 2 damage. Oh, it does leaders too. Oh, I didn't read that last time. Okay, so this is a particular archetype, Burgeon Onion Patchmaster. So this set introduces the Onion archetype, which is if I'm pretty sure I'll be able to pull one, but I'll tell you what it does later. But basically what this does is it gets you a bunch of onions. Hopefully you brought some goggles or glasses so you don't cry. Okay, let's keep going here. Next we've got Axe Princess again. The Dragon Youth, which is, again, a Draconic Duelist. Leela Arborist. More spell support. Death Scythe Nun. So this selects another Haven follower and gives it Bane. It has Bane itself. So you could use this with Ector. And if you needed to, you could just immediately give Ector or whatever you're summoning Bane. And then this has Rush because of Ector too. Jeweled Priestess. We have so many cards in this set that are literally just Evo. And Mysterium Prodigy. Alright, so this is one of the big cards to pick up for the Mysterian or Academic archetype, I suppose. What is this? Choose one of the following. If you have 10 Academic cards or more, choose 2. And there are only 2 effects, so basically choose both. First is to search for and sorcery, put it in the EX area. The next and sorcery you play costs 5 less, so it gets played for free, basically. Then search your deck for a Greya Mysterian Dragoness, summon it, and shuffle the deck. And Greya is also in this set, so... Well, what do you know? And sorcery with and Mysterium Prodigy. We got them both in the same pack. So, what and sorcery does is, choose one of the following. Select an enemy leader or follower, deal it 4 damage and draw. Or you can pay 3 more, select an enemy leader or follower on the field. If you have at least 10 academic cards in the cemetery, 8 damage and draw 2 cards. So basically, it's a souped up version of the first effect. But it will cost 3 more. And we pulled the Evo of John, Beacon of Salvation. We didn't get the base form, so let's see what this does real quick. You may summon a Haven follower that costs 2 or less from your hand. And on strike, select a Haven follower that costs 2 or less on the field and give it +1. But if I recall right, this is a 3 cost, so you can't use it in tandem with Ector, unfortunately. If it was a 2 cost, then that would be pretty insane. Of course, you would still have to evolve it. Leela Arborist. We got another Death Scythe Nun. There it is, the Onion Patch. So, this is just a 1/1 with Rush. It's from Runecraft. When there are at least 5 cards named Onion Patch in the cemetery, this follower has Storm and Strike. Select an enemy follower and deal it a damage. How can you get 5? The last line is, you can put 50 cards of this in your deck. So you could literally make a 50 card pile of this deck. Just a bunch of onions. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Okay, so we got a puppet token this time. Jeez, we have not been pulling that many I've only gotten 4 tokens so far. They're really cutting down on that. Honestly, I think that's kind of good, but at the same time, there are so many new ones that you want to pull in this, so it's, yeah. White Fang Temple. This is another amulet-based card. At the start of your end phase, you could put a prayer counter on this, give it +1, give your leader +1. Then if you have 3 prayer counters, you can search for a faith follower that's 4 or less, summon it, and shuffle your deck. So basically, where did you go? As soon as you are able to, you could use it to summon this, because this is a 4 cost or less faith. And then this immediately gets you another amulet. Storied Falconer. This used to be a nice card in the original game. It summons a Holy Falcon on play, and it can also evolve. Prim Innocent Princess. It summons a Knight on play, and this one can also evolve. And then we got Heroic Dragon Slayer. This deals damage equal to this follower's attack. And it has an ability where if you're in overflow on the base form, then it can get some more attack points. That was the reason I was able to win one of my games yesterday, I'll say. Alright, Raven, Midnight, Vampire. So we have some more vampire support here. Ah, here's the base form. If overflow is active for you, it gets 2 more attack, basically. Savage Swordsman. If you have a token on the field, this gets +1/+1. And on top of that, it's only a 1 cost. Valkyrie of Order is a funny one. I misread this card when I first saw it. I completely... Just like with Mars, I completely missed on this X cost segment. I was like, can't you just choose any number and then this thing can be like infinite attack? Well, no. Raven Eventide Vampire. That's a good one to get. Masamune Raging Dragon. So this is also a Draconian Duelist. If there are at least 3 Duelist cards, this gets 2/2 and Storm and inherently has Bane. Poseidon. So search your deck for 2 Duelists. They have to be 2 cost or less, summon them, and shuffle the deck. Oh, so that enables Masamune right there. So yeah, this is a pretty good card. And the Evo Valkyrie of Chaos. It's just a straight ward that's a 5/5. But Valkyrie of Chaos is a cost 1 Evo, and yet it goes up 2 attack and 2 defense, which is very unusual for this game. Fount. Isn't it Fountain? Huh. This is an angel support card. Basically, search for an angel and give an angel some power. Order of the Bones again. I don't think I pulled the Evo of that yet, did I? Foresight. The Steel-clad Knight. Then Dario. Oh, right. I pulled the Evo of this, but I never pulled the base form. It just has a sail, and it's a 4/4/4 cost. So not bad. We got a regular Roy. Monochrome Duel. So I showed you this card earlier. Okay, so banish this from the cemetery. Give each knight on your field +1 and Storm. That's a 2 cost effect. And then its regular effect is to search for white and black queens. Summon them. Then they both get +1/+1. And the Old Blood King, Evo. This is another vampire support card. It gives each forest bat you've got +1, and when it's on the field, all forest bats you've got have rush and a sail. Okay, last pack. Let's see what we got. So, Flower of Fairies. It puts a Fairy Wisp into the EX area, and then it can just summon a fairy token. Here's Holy Fall of the Ivory, which just gives you +2 life if you've got an amulet. Staff of Whirlwinds, the Guard Form Golem token, Mysterian Knowledge. This one was a doozy. I did not understand how this card actually worked. So, in addition to paying the 1 cost, you have to reveal 2 academic cards from your hand. This does not count because technically when you play this card, you're playing it and then you have to actually pay the cost at that point. So this wouldn't be in your hand when you go to actually play it. Wait, this goes here. Gargoyle, Gargoyle, a Draconian Duelist card. Grea's Ember, which is yet another Angelic Snipe, but for Academia. And we finally got the Witch of Foresight Evo. You look at the top card of your deck, you may bury it, then you draw a card. Alright, that is box 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second box. So, I did note in the title as well that I was going to talk a little bit about, and I kind of brought this up in my market watches. Well, there has been a lot of discussion these days in regards to price increases on product. Nice, we got the Amaterasu one, so we got each of them. So, what I was going to talk about are tariffs. What's been happening is that there's a new policy in the United States of America that went into effect last week. Well, technically went more so into effect this week, where any exports that are brought into the United States via another country are subject to a 10% increase in price. Huh? Sir? The less than 4 Surbiton? Wait, what? Not this. Oh, wait, there's a different card, isn't there? I can't remember which one Surbiton is, but the name sounds familiar. But anyway, as I was saying in regards to tariffs, is that basically this is going to affect all the card games that we play, including Bushiroads. And there have been a number of vendors that have been referring to this on social media as well, talking about the cost increases because it is affecting their bottom line, and it will also be affecting. We got Dark Feast Bet and Valkyrie of Chaos. It will be affecting both their bottom line as well as the prices we will likely see going forward. Essentially, when you consider that most of our card games all originate in Japan, but they're usually produced in nations out in East Asia or just in Asia in general. I mean, especially if you've been following like the video game market, you know that Nintendo has been pushing on the Switch 2 recently, and they were supposed to open pre-orders. They were supposed to open pre-orders on, what was it? On the 9th. So they were supposed to open pre-orders 3 days ago, but because of the tariffs, they paused it to reevaluate the pricing. Snowman King. So this one is a funny one. While this card is on the field, any follower that costs 3 or less on the field can't attack enemies. That includes your own, so just keep that in mind. And if it's last words, you get +3 life. Another Witch of Foresight as well. For the time being, everything that is exported into the United States is going to be subject to a 10% tariff, with the exception of anything that comes from China, where apparently it's going to now be a 165% tariff. No, I did not stutter on that. 165%, or it's 145%. All I know is that it's insane. From what I understand, from what I've been reading, it sounds like we got a new legendary. Celia Sky Commander. This is another choice evo. Either you evolve it into Celia Hope Strategist or Celia Despair's Messenger. So it's kind of similar to Orchis, where you pay 1 for the first evo choice and 4 for the second one. But Orchis also had another restriction. Nanja Silent Maid, as well as Lycon. So where was I? Yeah. I'm pretty sure we don't have most of our product developed directly within China, so it's unlikely that we'll have to worry about imports on that. And I don't know if there are any means to, do some kind of transfers between outside nations so that the final nation in which it's actually constructed in would possibly lower the tariffs. I don't know too much about all this policy, like not in detail for sure. All I know is you can expect to start seeing product and price increases for anything that is coming into the United States. So if you live in the United States, you can definitely expect a lot of prices to start going back up. And someone was asking about more details on how this affects PSA grading. So I posted an article a little while ago in my community chat about PSA halting any grading for international cards. So basically, anyone who we got a foil, Prim Innocent Princess. Alright, search your deck for non-just Silent Maid, which I just pulled earlier. Reveal it, add it to your hand, and then shuffle. So not bad. But yeah, PSA has had to halt because they don't know how pricing is going to be affected due to how the tariffs have also just been moving very radically and randomly by the current administration in the United States. So, if you live outside the United States and you want to get your stuff graded by PSA, unfortunately, you are out of luck. You would have to import the cards that you want graded to someone within the USA and then have them get the cards graded for you or something along those lines. At least I'm pretty sure that would work. I cannot say that with absolute certainty. All right, we pulled Amaterasu too. Whenever this card becomes engaged, you give your leader 1, and if there's a Tsukiyomi, 2. So because this is a ward, you can immediately engage it and get 1 life. That's pretty good. Ah, we finally pulled this Evo. Select an Abyss follower in the cemetery and add it to your hand. Alright. So yeah, for the grading community, it's now tougher for anyone internationally to get their cards graded by United States entities like PSA. So, yeah, these tariffs have already caused ripple effects, not just for foreign entities like Nintendo, but domestic entities here in the United States like PSA. And of course, it affects domestic entities over here too that sell product because they have to pay the tariffs, otherwise they lose on their bottom line. And as far as I know, investing in card games we got Greya Mysterian Dragoness. So this gets a Greya Ember. Shuffle the deck. The next Greya Ember you play costs 1 less. While this card's on the field, if an academic spell, it deals that much plus 1 damage. Nice. Yeah. So ultimately, vendors will either have to choose to eat the cost, which will reduce their overall profit, which could have an effect on their ability to continue their business, because if they're not making enough money, and if they're constantly taking on debt instead, that could pose a problem, and eventually it could lead to them not having enough money to purchase more product wholesale, and therefore they wouldn't be able to keep going. This is a big one too. False Truth Seeker. This is one of the new Dirt Rune support cards. Search your deck for up to 2 Earth Sigil amulets that cost a total of 4 or less. Put them in the EX area, then shuffle your deck, and they cost 0 to play for the turn. At the start of your end phase, Earthright, select a follower on the field to give it +1/+1 and deal 2 damage to each enemy leader. So, definitely a pretty solid card. Paula, I see Warmth. This is another choice Evo, which is gold. I still have not pulled the actual Evo for this yet. And the Evo for Storied Falconer. Select a Holy Falcon on the field to give it +1 and Bane. You get some pretty solid cards here. But yeah, all I can say is be aware. Eventually, if product prices increase, that will likely translate into a price increase for singles in general as well. Since it costs more to buy the product, anyone secondhand picking up stuff is going to want at least a little bit more in value, if nothing else. So that is something you'll have to consider, especially when buying singles, is that if there's no product getting cracked open, there are no singles on the market. That's another factor to keep in mind. So Water of the Megalorca. Oh, that's nice. A super legendary Avania Nightshade Vampire. Oh, that's pretty nice. Okay, just to review. So this is another choice Evo. Evolve into Vania Kind Queen or Vania Blood Queen. You can only do Blood Queen if you've got at least five vampire cards in the cemetery, and this card puts a forest bat into your EX area. That was a really nice pull. And then we got the regular Old Blood King. So, Evo this follower for 1. This summons 2 forest bat tokens immediately, and then it gives them Rush and Assail. Actually, I thought it gave them Storm. I guess it only gives them Rush. Grasshopper Conductor. Search your deck for a spell. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's the Evo. That is a bronze. So we'll just put that there. Okay, so that was definitely big. Let's see what else we can grab here. Lilia Arborist. Death Scythe Nun. We got another Onion Patch. Do I go for 50 of those? We got a Dragon Token, Opposing Statues, the Owlman. Ah, this is a good one. Heavenly Knight. So, if you're an Amulet player, even if you're not an Amulet player, this thing is still pretty solid. It has Storm and Ward. It's a 3/7. And if you have at least 2 Amulets on the field, it gets +2 attack, and your leader gets +2 life. So that is pretty solid. And then we got Katakura Kojo. I think with that, how many... Okay, there should be 1 legendary left, I think. And we got yet another Choice Evo Gold. The Mysterian. Alright, so this one is a Choice Evo of the White Worm and the Black Worm. We have Assail and deal 3 damage to each enemy leader on Evo. And then there's Ward and give your leader 3 life on Evo. Yep, Academics, Mysterian. You have to wonder why they just call them Academics when literally Mysterian is already in all their names anyway. Substitution again, that's good. Lycon, the Shield Guardian. Ooh, Blood Moon. Blood Moon searches for a beast follower, puts it in your hand, and then you can bury this card to deal 1 damage to each leader, so it activates Sanguine with no additional cost, really. So that's a pretty solid card. Ah, Arcus, Spirit Manager. This is a funny one. So, first off, this is a 2-cost 5/5. And it can't attack. It just can't attack, basically. At the start of your main phase, you can Necrocharge 10 to summon a Ghost token, and you can bury another follower to choose one of these. You draw a card, summon 2 Ghost tokens, or bury the 2 cards on top of your deck. So, technically you can bury a Ghost with this, but of course you need Necrocharge 10 to actually summon it, so it would have to come in late game. Force of the Dragon Newt, which is a quick for dragon. Select an enemy follower, deal it 3 damage, draw a card, and then discard a card. So it's a bit of cycling as well. So ultimately a little bit weaker than Burst Breath and Overflow, but before Overflow it's better than Burst Breath is. Then again, I haven't really seen anyone play Burst Breath in a while. We got another Raven, Heroic Dragon Slayer, the Savage Swordsman, then the Ghost. We got a regular Soul Hunter again, so I guess we're not seeing the Evo today. Dragon Scythe Hunter. Okay, Dragonplate Warrior is our last card. If Overflow is active for you, recover 2 play points. During your turn, whenever you play a dragon spell, deal 2 damage to each enemy follower. It's a 5 cost, though. You do get 2 play points back if you're an Overflow, so at least it gives you some room. And we got the Evo Paradise Vanguard. Select an enemy follower that costs 4 or less and banish it. Which is a pretty wide catching effect. Cost 4, there are lots of things that you can pick out of that. So that wraps up today's box opening. Just a quick check on what we've got. 2 foils out of 2 boxes. We got Dragon Cleaver and Prim. They're always so hard to check on camera, though. The super legendaries, we got Romelia, and then we managed to get a Vania, which is really good. Yeah, that was pretty good. Thank you. And then as for the regular legendaries, we basically pulled one of each that I was able to pull. Faust is definitely a big one. I do want to build Academia. We'll see how easy it is later. Celia's not bad. And what else? Masamune. We got the John Evo, not the regular. I mean, we got the Evo of Greya, and we got On, so I still have to get the regular of Greya there. And then we got Veneria. So those are the big ones. Again, box topper wise, you'll have a pack of sleeves that you can grab for each box, which is pretty solid. And I think there are 10 of them in here. I'm pretty sure there are 10. Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Yeah, I'll have to see if I even need to play it in anything that I've got. I don't know. Yeah, gold wise, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 28 golds. Again, that was 24 packs, so 4 more than the number of packs. Silver wise, I'm not going to go through the whole numbers on those. Tokens, though, this is something that I'm curious about. We did not see a token in every single pack this time around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I did not even get a box's worth of tokens. That's insane. Not to mention, there are new tokens in here, like Eternal Potion, which I kind of skipped over. Select a rune follower that costs 3 or less in the cemetery and summon it. Give it rush, and at the start of the end phase, you destroy it. And then there's also Mysterium Missile, which is select an enemy follower, deal it 3. And if you have 10 academic cards at least in the cemetery, deal 2 damage to that leader. Then Aftershock, which we already discussed a bit. So that is very unusual. Because honestly, if you are going to, I don't know how to feel about this. This is only going to make a lot of the tokens, especially the newer ones, much higher in cost to get. I mean, technically, you don't need to have the actual tokens. You just need something to represent them. So, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. At the same time, it does increase the number of actual cards for the decks. So, there is that trade-off there. Not to mention, when I take a look at some of these, yeah, there's a little bit of damage on some of these cards coming out of the packs. But in comparison to what I remember from set 5, this is nowhere near as bad. I think for those of you who did see me crack open set 5, let's see. I think you remember that some of the cards were actually kind of ripped pretty badly. So the silvers seem to be okay. Yeah, I don't really see anything wrong with the silvers. The golds. Looks fine. So I guess it's mostly the bronzes. So whatever they're doing when they're cutting them, I have no idea. But with that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little bit in regards to tariffs as well, because that is going to be a factor going forward too. Like I said, either you expect costs to increase, or there's the possibility that a lot of stores could end up going out of business if they try to eat the cost. But the situation on tariffs just keeps on flipping and changing. So it really is just a matter of keeping your eye on what's actually happening and kind of predicting what'll happen in the future. which I can tell you it's not easy. It is not easy. With that, that's it for today. Thank you and have a good day.